Hey, what's up, Georgia here? Well, this one's going to be on Connecticut knife laws. Uh, I'm going to the website, the akti.org uh, slash state nine laws, state knife laws slash Connecticut. So let's see what Connecticut has to say. But okay, here it comes. Uh, Here's just at a glance. Connecticut statutes restrict the possession or carry of knives beyond one's home. Statute 53-206 applies generally, while 29-38 to weapons in a vehicle. The wording of both statutes is similar with respect to what is restricted and what expectations apply. Essentially, it is unlawful, a Class D felony, to possess an automatic knife with a blade longer than 1.5 inches, or any knife with a blade longer than 4 uh, inches. Uh, it has shown some quick legal facts. Statewide permission, no concealed carry, concealment is not an issue. Schools, there's a prohibition for the possession of firearms and dangerous weapons on school grounds. Critical dimensions: 1.5-inch maximum blade length for automatic or switchblade type knives. 4 inches in length of edge portion of the blade of a knife can be legally carried. Uh, Have some relevant statutes: 53A-3 definitions, 53-206 carrying of dangerous weapons prohibited, 53A-217B possessions of a weapon on school grounds, Class D felony, 28-38 weapons in vehicles, potentially penalty exceptions, expectations of restricted knives. There is no forbidden knives under Connecticut law. Concealed carry, whether a knife is carried openly or concealed, is not an issue. Restrictions on sale or transfer, non noted. Restrictions on carry in specific locations, circumstances. It is unlawfully to possess a deadly weapon as defined in 53A-3 on the grounds of a public or private schools K through 12, and at any school sponsored activities. Statewide permission. There's no statewide imposition of knife laws. Okay, discussion. Automatic knives. Connecticut law allows the possession and carry of automatic knives subject to very restrictions: 1.5-inch blade length maximum. One of other U.S. state, Massachusetts, has the same restriction. Given the limit market for automatic knives of its size, such knives are not readily available. Connecticut has not adopted a bias toward closure exception, and to no appellate court level cases address assisted opening knives. We accordingly recommend such knives be avoided. Okay, 53-206 and 29-38 knives. The status capturing of carrying of dangerous weapons beyond weapons prohibited, weapons and vehicles, penalty actions allow for the possession and carry of any knife, the edge portion of the blade of which is 4 inches or more in length. The rule for blade measurement differs from most other states, and it is not entirely clear how dimensions is questioned to be measured. Various exceptions are provided for both sections are essentially the same. The provisions of this section shall not apply to one any officer charged with the preservation of the public peace while engaged in the pursuit of such officers' official duties. The carrying of a knife, the edge portion of the blade of which is 4 inches or more by length. Any member of the armed forces of the United States as defined in Section 27-103 or any reserve component thereof, or the armed forces of the state as defined in Section 27-2 when on duty or going to or from duty. Any member of military organization which on parade or when going to or from any place of assembly. That's A and B. And C, any person while transporting such knife as merchandise for display at an authorized gun or knife show. D, any person who is found with such knife concealed upon one's person while lawfully removing such person's household goods or effects from one place to another, or from one residence to another. E, any person while actually and peacefully engaged in carrying such knife from such person's place or abode or business, a place or person where or by whom such knife is to be repaired, or while actually peacefully returned to such person's place of abode or business with such knife or the same as repaired. F, any person holding a valid hunting, fishing, or trapping license issued pursuant to Chapter 490 or any saltwater fishery and carrying such knife for lawful hunting, fishing, or trapping activity. G, any person while participating in an authorized historic reenactment. These exceptions are affirmative defense that must be established by the individual. School grounds. 53A-217B. Possession of a weapon on school grounds provides that it is a Class D felony to possess a deadly weapon as defined as 53A-3. Definition of school grounds are on the grounds of any public or private primary or secondary school. The restriction extends to any school-sponsored activity which is not limited to school property. 53A-3 definitions provide the following definition. Deadly weapon means any weapon, whether loaded or unloaded, from which a shot may be discharged, or a switchblade, gravity knife, billy or blackjack, mulligan, or metal knuckles. The definition of deadly weapon and the subdivision should be deemed not to apply to Section 29-38 or 53-206. Okay, 53A-217B has not been the subject of appellate review in Connecticut, but local Board of Education policies and regulations typically forbid possessions of knives. We recommend caution. Sorry about going so fast. I was just trying to keep this video short. I guess on the net when I start my next one, I'll try to be a little bit slower. Various expectations for law enforcement and military members are provided in 53-206 and 29-38 as set forth above. Violations of 53-206, 29-38, and 53-217B are a Class D felony, are punishable by imprisonment for 1 to 5 years and a fine up to $5,000. Knives are constitutionally protected arms. The Connecticut Supreme Court has ruled that State of Connecticut versus D.C. Code 105A3D 165 back in 2014 that dark knives are arms within the ambit of the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. In other words, dirks are not dangerous and unusual weapons, and such restrictions are currently limited. The opinion discusses the assembly of dirks and military issue knives such as the USMC K-bar, the US Navy issue M2, and the M3 trench knife. This also contains an excellent examination of the issue, offers a strong statement against the stigmatization of dirks and daggers. This was updated back May 2020. Uh, uh, well, uh, well, that's it. Always like, share, and leave a comment if you like to. And if you're new here, hit the subscription button and hit the notification bell. That'll help me out a lot on these videos to let me know. And plus, when you do that, please leave a comment to which videos you like me to keep going with. And as always, though, I'm no attorney. I don't know nothing about the law, so I'm just going state by state, try to put something out there so y'all could get y'all to pay attention and start looking at your local knife laws, your state, like your state laws, your county and city, because it so far while I've been reading, they vary. Well, y'all have a good one. Take care. I'll catch y'all later.